enforced disappearance?
In partnership is with KHRC, IGM and us to fight
KHRC?
IGM
Okay.
and Law Society.
Sorry, members of the press, sorry for keeping you waiting, but we are now ready for this press briefing. Together with us is the Council of the Law Society, the Kenya Human Rights Commission, and the victims, families, and the community of the incident that happened at the Karebe gold mines in Kapsabet. And the victims and the families have today presented a petition to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and this statement jointly as the civil society organizations that have been asking for justice to be done to these families. The Law Society also today has received the mothers of the victims of suspects of enforced disappearance and suspected police brutality. They have brought us documents to support a claim that we are exploring to take action and file a constitutional petition for compensation as a result of these acts of enforced disappearance. And after we have evaluated the documents that they have presented to us, we would be making further statements in terms of how the Law Society intends to proceed with that matter. So we have two sets of victims, those that the DPP has not yet recommended their charging, and for those that have disappeared. And so therefore we would be making a joint statement in regard thereto. So the Law Society of Kenya and the Kenya Human Rights Commission is deeply concerned by the recent events surrounding the investigations into the deadly blast that occurred in the Karebe gold mine shafts at around 4:15 hours in Kibisem location, Tinderet sub-county, Nandi County, on the 23rd of January 2023. As a result of the blast, 3 people, that is Geoffrey Onyango, Julius Kipchumba, and Geoffrey Rotich lost their lives. And 6 other people were seriously injured. We are aware that 10 suspects were arrested and arraigned before the Chief Magistrate Court at Kapsabet under miscellaneous custody application number 13 of 2023 on the 7th of February 2023. The court granted the investigative officer 14 days to hold the suspects in custody pending further investigations into the deadly blast. In addition, and due to the nature and the magnitude of the investigation, the investigations were taken up by the DCI headquarters, who completed investigations and made recommendations of a charge of murder against the suspects. A duplicate file was also forwarded to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution for perusal, direction, and further action in court. The prosecution applied to withdraw the case, citing areas in the investigation that had not been covered, that has left the families of the deceased, the community, and the public at large with many unanswered questions. The DPP's failure to give reasons as to his withdrawal is a clear violation of Article 10 of the Constitution and Section 4 of the DPP Act. We therefore find that the actions by the DPP do not instill public confidence in the institution of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. We are greatly concerned that despite the completion of investigations by the Directorate of DCI, the suspects have not been charged with murder as recommended by the DCI. We are also concerned about the current position file that was forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecutions for perusal, directions, and further action. Therefore, the two institutions and the family are seeking answers to the following questions. What is the actual position of the DCI file that investigations were made on and recommendations of a charge of murder made against the suspects? What is the current position of the file that was forwarded to the DPP for perusal and directions? And finally, and most important, why is it taking too long to charge the suspects that are well known within the community? We therefore urge the relevant authorities to expedite investigation and bring the perpetrators of this heinous crime to book. We call upon the authorities to act within the next 7 days and provide us with the answers that we seek. Failure to do so, we will be compelled to explore other options available as provided for under the law to compel the authorities to act. The Law Society and the Kenya Human Rights Commission stands in solidarity with the victims and the families during this difficult time, and we give our commitment to you that we will push for justice and accountability for this senseless act of violence. The rule of law and the administration of justice are being called into question by the delay in bringing the suspects to book. As is often said, justice delayed is justice denied. So the victims and the families demand for justice, and they demand for justice now. The Law Society also intends to review the documentation that today we have received from the mothers of the young men who have disappeared under the custody of the police. We know that there have been several instances of enforced disappearance. We have petitioned the President to form a commission of inquiry to investigate the issue of enforced disappearance. Up to date, that petition has not been acted upon. But nonetheless, as a Law Society, we are determined to bring an end to this culture of enforced disappearance. And towards that end, we have constituted a team of eminent lawyers to review the documentation that we have received from the mothers of the victims of enforced disappearance. Upon completion of the review of those documents, we intend to file a robust case in court seeking accountability for those that have disappeared, seeking command responsibility for the police officers under whose custody the victims disappeared, and seeking compensation for the lives of these young men which was cut short by agents of the state. So we say this, that it is important to have accountability, It is important for this country to be governed by the rule of law, and we are not going to relent in the various initiatives that we are undertaking on behalf of victims and behalf of families that have suffered crime in this country. It is a high time that we live up to our constitution that declares Kenya as a country governed by the rule of law. And so we therefore urge the competent authorities to ensure that as they undertake their mandate, they do it within the four corners of the Constitution, and that failure thereto will attract consequences. Thank you very much for listening to us. So if there are any questions, we will take the questions, and then we just want to thank you for your patience coming to see us. If you want to speak to the victims, we can also give you an opportunity for them just to say something from the team in Kapsabet, and then the mothers also of the victims of enforced disappearance. Yes, so we can ask them to come here. Yes. They were suspects who were arrested and taken to court. The DPP applied to withdraw the application for holding those suspects in custody pending conclusion of investigations. So that actually is the situation that we are talking about. But what we are saying is that the event happened in January. Suspects live within a community. The community knows who the suspects are, but action has not been taken 3 months down the line. What is the cause of this delay? That's what the DPP should explain to the country and to the victims, because the blood of the three is calling for accountability. I will now invite one of I think the brother of the deceased to just say something as a representative. Is it okay? And then we will get one of the mothers to also come and say something. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, kwanza kwa majina naitwa Josephat Rotich. Mimi ni ndugu yake Geoffrey Rotich mwenye alituacha on 23rd of January. Na mpaka saa hii hatujui kitu tunasema. Kwanza ni kurudisha asante ama shukrani kwa the president of LSK na wakili wenzake kwa hii kazi ametufanyia mpaka saa hii. On 11th of April sisi tulipata tena ile ugonjwa ama ile kidonda tulikuwa tumejaribu kuimaliza, lakini vile ile kesi ilirushwa on that day tukapata ugonjwa pia. Na ningependa tu kusema kuna vitu matatu imefanyika pale. Kwanza nyumba ya MD ilichomeka, ya pili koto inaitwa contempt of court ikafanyika pale. Alafu ya tatu hiyo nyumba hao watu wakauliwa. Na mimi mwenyewe najua mmoja ama wawili ambao walihusika na hiyo maneno. Na bado mnaona mpaka saa hii yako nyumbani. Anatuambia hakuna kitu mtatufanyia. Naomba DBB ama ODBB atusaidie, iingilie hii kesi kabisa itusaidie. Saa hii hata tukiingia kwa simu yetu hii tuko na maneno mengi sana. Pale ground ngawa walituambia msisikie maneno ya huko nyumbani, lakini tuko na uchungu. Mtu anaandika kwa media ya kwamba tunadanganywa na ilhali tulisika wenzetu. Mtu anaandika na mkubwa wa serikali pia anatuambia ati hii maneno haikufanyika na kampuni, haikufanyika na hao jamaa. na tunajua wenyewe ya kwamba wao ndio walifanya hilo jambo. Kwa hivyo tunaomba tu haki ifanyike. Hii maneno yote tulikuwa tumesahau. Tulisika wenzetu tukasema anyway, waje tusahau vile hiyo kesi ilirushwa ama hii maneno iko kwa kotini, sheria ifuate mkondo yake. Lakini juzi vile ilirushwa, hata wazazi wangu pata ugonjwa, karibu gongo na magari kule Kapsabet. Mama nakimbia njiani, karibu ingie kwa magari. Badada zangu hawa walilia kulia, majirani wote. So nilikuwa nauliza tu, nguvu gani huyu jamaa mmoja ama wawili wako nayo kushinda hii community yote? Sisi tumekuja kama community na familia, lakini mtu mmoja ama wawili ndiye amefanya hii jambo na tumeshindwa. Tuseme tuende tufanye, tulipishe kisasi, haitushindi. Wale ni watu karibu watatu, familia watatu, na sisi community tuko wengi. Tunaweza fanya chochote, lakini tunaomba tu kulingana na wakili wetu vile walituambia, tusichukue sheria kwa mikono yetu. Tunaomba haki ifanyike. Asanteni.
Ningeomba mniruhusu niongee kwa Kiswahili. Habari ya jioni. Mimi naitwa Mama Victor ama naitwa Bena Buluma. Mimi ni convener Mothers of Victims and Survivors Network. Kwa siku ya leo tumeleta documents zetu. Ni watoto wetu wale ambao waliuliwa na askari. Wengine wamepoteza mpaka sasa hawajapatikana. Na wengine pia wameumizwa, wanaishi na marisasi kwa miguu. Sasa mimi ningeomba serikali ingilie kati kwa hii maneno. Sio rahisi mzazi kusimama hapa kuja kuwa analia mtoto wake, vile mnasikia wenzangu wanasema. Na askari anakuwa mtu mmoja. Lakini community pia ikijigang inaweza kufanya vile inaweza kufanya. Na tutaka kuchukua sheria mikononi. Tunataka serikali ichunguze hii maneno vizuri sana. Sababu hao askari wanajulikana, hata sisi tunawajua kwa majina zao. Hatutaki kuwataja. Na tunataka serikali ingilie kati, ichukue hatua, ipeleke kesi kotini. Kama watoto wetu walikuwa wabaya, tutaridhika. Na kama serikali inajua nini inaendelea, pia serikali iridhike. Na watu walipwe. Sababu ni binadamu, wameacha familia nyuma, wameacha hata mpaka watoto wao nyuma. Mimi kama mzazi nasikianga uchungu sana saa zile wajukuu wanalia, wamekosa school fees, maisha sasa imekuwa ngumu, unga moja huwezi kulisha nao watoto wale ambao wamebakishwa nao. Tunaomba serikali ikishikana na Law Society of Kenya ingilie kati, ifuatilie hizi maneno, ifuatilie hizi cases, ijue wao pia walikuwa ni watoto na tunawapenda, hata serikali pia tunaipenda, lakini iwache kuachilia maskari wao wakiua watu kiholela holela. Tunapinga hiyo mauaji ya kiholela sana. Kwa hivyo sisi kama Mothers of Victims tunapinga na tungeomba, tunataka justice ifanyike kotini. Asanteni. Na nachukua hizi kesi zetu leo nazipatia mapita na zote tumezipanga. Watu ambao waliona dagaa wote na tunaona bwana hivi na vidonda na matatu wako nao. Sisi ni wanyonge, hakuna pati tunaenda. Ndio maana tumekimbilia hapa. Kwa hivyo kama president wetu wa local society tunachukua hivi tunakupatia ili tukupatie na tunaomba tupate justice.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen on the brush. Okay, we are done now.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.